なアルとマイクみたいになりたい。でも電話してくれない。オークランドとブックレンドから世界チャンピオンバーチャルプローズ始まるよ。バーチャルプローズ。
To my motherfucking man, 50 grand, the alcoholic man, inject a tall can in his bloodstream if he can. Biggie Smalls, the stroker, MC provoker, chocolate tie smoker, huh? I like to max and Maximas and Acuras. Your girl butt cheeks, I'm smacking, huh? The raw rapper, spine snapper, with the little, cause on my lap, a shot, the ball, I ain't your fucking comforter. And if I ever fall in love, I bet I'm fucking her. Ask the if I didn't choke her. If she try to front, then I drop the Chucky Booker on.
Episode 75 of That World Champion Sound Virtual Pros Podcast. My name is Al, a.k.a. Henny Omega, a.k.a. The Bandman, a.k.a. Bougie Nagata, a.k.a. Two Phone Scorpio, a.k.a. Super Brazy, a.k.a. Pete Gas Break Dip, a.k.a. No Speak Broke Boy, Kami Shinsuke Stack a Mill Up. And with me, one half of the Holy Scheming Army, one half of Lemolition, one half of the Heavenly Thotties, one half of the Bread Hunters, my main oos, Mike.
Hey, what's up, motherfuckers? It's Mike, a.k.a. Rich Mike, a.k.a. Wavy Boy Smith, a.k.a. Crack Saber Jr., a.k.a. Tim Tam Bigelow, and I'm back.
I don't even want to know what that's from. It just sounds uncomfortable.
That's for the Joey's World Tour fans out there.
Oh, boy. Today's topic, virtual GMs listen to Al and Mike wheel and deal their respective continents' wrestling rosters in hopes of getting over on each other. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram at VRTLPros. Hit us on SoundCloud. Hit that heart. You know I like it. Hit us on iTunes. Leave a 5-star review and subscribe if you haven't already. Peep us on Spotify. And if you want to participate, email us at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Mike, we got a gang of emails. You mind starting off with that first one?
Sure. First one's from Emily. It's titled Families of Wrestlers. It says, "Hi, Mike and Al. Love the podcast. I was doing press at the New Japan show in San Francisco, and the press section in the Cow Palace was right next to where the family and friends of wrestlers were sitting. I didn't really notice them until after the main event when Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Haku Mang attacked the other Bullet Club guys. Then these two kids, a boy and a girl who looked like 8-10-year-olds, freaked out and started jumping around and yelling, 'Yeah, Uncle!' The happiest, purest reaction I've ever seen at a wrestling show, and how these kids reacted to their Uncle Mang pile-driving Kenny Omega. Do you guys have any stories about seeing friends or family of wrestlers at shows? Sorry if you've gotten this question before. Emily Pratt, a.k.a. Fenny Apache, a.k.a. I Slap a Hokuto, a.k.a. The Good Kushida. I admire Emily for putting her full name inside of her signature very well. As far as me, I don't remember seeing any. Actually, I've seen a few independent wrestlers' moms at shows, but I don't think that really counts. That's not a big deal. I will say, I've only been to Raw twice in my life. And the first time was during the Attitude Era, and I had friends and family seats. And there wasn't any other friends and family that I saw in those seats. I mean, I'm sure there were there, but those were definitely the best seats I've ever had. So that's why I don't go to Raw anymore, because I was spoiled the first time I went.
Of course Emily's okay with sharing her full name, man. She's popping out here on Up Rocks. How dare you, Mike? How fucking dare you?
I don't know. She didn't plug, her shit, so I don't know.
Oh, she don't need to. She's known out here in the streets. Whatever, Mike. The disrespect, dude. Don't be disrespectful. Anyway, I think I've told this story on the show, but when NXT had their first real big proper show in San Jose, that was the time Solomon Crow, a.k.a. Sami Callihan, he was still on the roster. And your boy was a little wavy, a lot wavy. And I was heckling him pretty hard in my seat. And so this was going on for quite a while he was wrestling. And this dude in front of me, he was like, "Hey, that's his girlfriend down there. She's pretty mad at you." And I'm pretty sure I said, "I don't give a fuck." And that might be the only time I've had an interaction with a family member or friend whose not spouse, but SO was in the ring. So it wasn't very nice of me, but it happened. Next email is from the G Series. That's a cool name. titled AAW Texas Road Report. Sup, Dirtbags? I've always wanted a reason to send you guys an email, and with AAW making its debut in Austin a couple weeks ago, I figured I would fill in for the AAW Road Report. First off, whoever booked this venue is a genius, given the fact that there was a Pluckers around the corner. For those that don't know, Pluckers is a hidden gem here in Texas as far as wings. So we decided to grab a bite before the show started. Then me and my homie went half on a bottle, and we had our own HennyCon in the parking lot. After a while, we go inside for the festivities, and the dark match begins. Me and my wife couldn't really focus on the match itself, as we were both freaked out by how much Zach Taylor looks like Denzel Curry. Later on in the show, we noticed Bailey chilling in the cut as her fiancé, Aaron Solo, was teaming with Ricky Starks against the besties in the world? The word? Once intermission started, it became a Bailey meet and greet, and you can just see how uncomfortable she is as a bunch of mouth breathers surrounded her. She got out of there pretty quickly, and we left the bar as intermission winded it down. The next match was Rich Swann versus Trevor Lee. Swann makes his way out, double fisting 4 Lone Stars and drinking all the beer he can grab on the way to the ring. We were kind of worried that we were being shown what rock bottom looks like. Trevor Lee comes out, cuts a promo, and the match plays out regularly. Being relieved we weren't reliving a Victory Road 2011 moment, I hit the bar so I could get like Rich Swann. Trevor retains, and I'm pretty fucked up. The tag match with Jimmy Jacobs and Brody King versus monster drinker Sami Callihan and Darby Allin was violent and a lot of fun. The main event, however, was fantastic. As ACH returns home in front of his family to confront Eddie Kingston in what was a physical, personal, and emotional matchup, everything was done perfectly, from ACH's entrance to Kingston getting on the mic mid-match to call out ACH's mother. ACH got the win and cut a heartfelt promo at the end of the show saying AAW wants to return to Texas. It's safe to say I can't wait to come back. Anyway, sorry for such a long message. Thanks for your time. Isaiah's aka Little Cutoff Jeans, aka Little Dumpy, aka Dumpy Del Frio. Yo, I've been meaning to come back to Texas after my WrestleMania experience, so this show sounds pretty cool. Anytime Eddie Kingston gets on the mic when I'm there, it's always something pretty funny, and for him to talk some shit mid-match to someone's mom sounds like something.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. I'm gonna have an AAW road report in the short future of this show, but I don't really have much to say. So this one's probably gonna be longer than mine. So, next email is from Daniel. It's titled "Making Documentaries Fun." Hey there. One of the cinemas that I regularly go to in London is showing Beyond the Mat, which I've never seen. However, the podcast putting it on have decided that it should be a fun affair, with wrestling fans bringing in signs, wearing costumes, and allowed to quote and chant along to Jake Roberts smoking crack and the sight of Mick Foley's kids being traumatized in real time. Needless to say, this is weird and really put me off of seeing it in the cinema. It had me thinking. Gaia Girls is such a sharp, observational, and disturbing documentary that can play in a cinema arts gallery, whatever, without people chanting, wearing costumes, etc. But if you needed to have a fun Gaia Girl screening, what would you ask the crowd to do? As always, you guys rule. Daniel, a.k.a. Smoking Out, Pouring Up, Keeping Lean in my New Japan Cup, a.k.a. Space Flying Tiger Drop Down and Get Your Eagle On Girl. I don't think this would be fun for everybody in the crowd, but I think it would be cool to set up those exercise bikes they're always on and have that like power the screen, like so some like there always has to be people constantly on the exercise bikes, like maybe the whole audience takes turns, and probably somebody like some younger person constantly cleaning up after you. And then like yeah, just like, you know, if it's an Alamo, have like the waiters or waitresses constantly sweep the floor and mop the floor around you while you're watching the movie. And I think that would be a fun activity. I also think it is fucking insane that they're like, oh, we're gonna show Beyond the Mat, and yeah, just dress up. That's just such a weird concept.
Concepts for a Gaia Girls screening. Maybe like one person gets picked up out of the crowd, and the rest of the crowd just like takes turns drop kicking them in the face. I don't know. That'd be fun for everyone else but that one person. What else? Maybe someone could make Chanko Nabe for everybody. I don't know. It just seems like it'd be an awful time for one person, but the rest of the crowd could have a good time. Next up is from Rich, titled MDK. What up, Vertbags? There's a question after the statement of there's never been anyone more gangster than Nick fucking Gage. This man straight up bled the fuck out at TOD 8 with his dying breaths. This man cut a promo that I encourage everyone to watch. Gage was then airlifted out of DJ's parents/grandparents' land and was dead for 8 minutes before being brought back. Attached below is a photo to add to the ghoul factor. Seriously, everyone go watch this if you haven't. The question I have, since Gage is the baddest motherfucker on the planet, who do you think would be bad enough to slap death in the face and cut a promo? Much love, Rich, a.k.a. Masahiro Flono, a.k.a. Little Zandig, a.k.a. Master Go Ace, a.k.a. proud card-carrying member of MDK gang-affiliated Eastern Bloc Hate Club. Lesnar would do it, for fucking sure. And I'd like to see that.
I mean, he answered his own question. He said Nick Gage, so I don't know how to respond to that. I imagine, not because he's such a tough, hard man or anything, but I imagine a person like Teddy Hart just brushing off death, like just being like, whatever, because he seems pretty wacky. So I don't think death would phase Teddy Hart. So I'm gonna go with Teddy Hart. Next email's from David. Rough Interactions. Hey, Virtual Pros. Was listening to a recent episode with a segment about times you have become physically involved at a wrestling show. When I was about 12, I went to a WWF tribute show at my local leisure center in Glasgow, Scotland. During one of the undercard matches, a fake doink started brawling with his opponent on the floor when he asked every kid at the show to come down and help him. Cue 35 kids running down to duff the fuck out of some poor jobber, with all of them, me included, throwing their stiffest shots at a guy getting paid maximum £50 for a 6-hour round journey. On the show as well, a guy called the Dudley Boy took a chokeslam from the UK Undertaker from the top of the cage, and it looked horrific at the time. And even more bleak when you realize how much they were getting paid to take CZW Cage of Death stunt bumps in front of like 75 people. Keep fighting the good fight. Taka Michinoklu, a.k.a. Victor Tangiv, a.k.a. Akira Blozawa, a.k.a. Jin and Juice Robinson, a.k.a. Timothy Ketcha Issue. I have always heard about these tribute shows that happen in Europe, and I want to see one so bad. I don't think they tape them or anything. Sometimes I see flyers on the internet, and they're so amazing. Just the flyers alone. I would love to just own the flyers. If you guys out there, you overseas guys, you get these flyers regularly, like on paper, these big poster size ones, let me know, because I would really love to have one. And yeah, it's just, if you guys don't know, it's just, I guess they're allowed to do this. I don't think it still happens, but they used to have tours at one point where they would just have local English and Scottish wrestlers just dress up like WWE wrestlers and have wrestling shows. So I would really like to see that someday.
So in Sacramento, I live by a middle school, and some of those motherfuckers are bigger than I am. So for someone to let these giant 12-year-olds like swing with all their might, that's a pretty strong sign of bravery, man. So props to that guy that was just taking like legit punches from possibly monster children. I respect that.
Yeah. I went to that Chikara King of Trios a few years ago, and I think they did that to Stokely Hathaway. And somebody like used their baby to hit him. Like there was some guy who's like, pantomiming the baby hitting him, but he was basically just using the baby as a battering ram at the same time. It was real weird.
Next up is from Emilio. What's up, Bade? Titled True Sports Shame. Sup, Vertbags. Thanks as always for putting out quality product that has lessons for most of society, since everyone falls into some genre of nerd these days. Seriously, classics like Don't Buy Shit, Be Charming, Don't Wallet Check for Other Dudes, and Dragons May Have Existed need to be taught in every middle school. October is the most packed month of sports in North America, and that had me thinking about just how shameful sports fans are. Relative to the wrestling crowd, would you rank the 5 major sports fandoms, basketball, baseball, football, hockey, and soccer, in shame capacity? My vote goes to hockey fans for the permanent inferiority complex. Hockey, as fun as it is to watch at times, is hard to fully love. Too many upper-class white dudes constantly using some other guy's toughness as a way to challenge the manhood of people who can beat that ass without a second thought. Be well and keep fighting the good fight. Emilio, a.k.a. Miho Ube, a.k.a. the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account kid, a.k.a. La-di-da-di-da, slab-a-mi-cob. I like that second one, Emilio. My beef with hockey is that they have to be like the sport with the most amount of fans that are like, I don't watch any other sport except for this one. So hockey's definitely fucking up there. Soccer's like that too, but soccer's such a worldwide thing where, I don't think it trumps hockey in terms of shame. No one's really checking for baseball these days. I think you got to be kind of a diehard to follow that. So that's kind of low. Basketball is my one true love. By the way, those Sacramento Kings, man. Mike, you fucking jacked about that shit or what?
And, I am, man. That's great.
Oh my God. Fucking De'Aaron Fox. My goodness. Whew. And football has like its fair share of mouth breathers, but I'm with you, Emilio. I think hockey's actually kind of like super annoying. What do you think, Mike?
I think, for the most part, I think a lot of hockey fans keep to themselves. It's really easy to avoid hockey fans. I mean, I guess I don't know where Emilio lives. I've not lived in a place where hockey is like a huge deal. Even in Chicago, like it's hockey season right now. They just won fucking 3 Stanley Cups within the last the last 8 years now or whatever it's been. And it's not like I see jerseys every once in a while, but it's not in my face.
Yeah.
I would think like on a nerd level, it's definitely U.S. soccer fans because you either have the ultra nerdy U.S. soccer fan or you have the one who just always wants to like gatekeep people watching the World Cup as not being real soccer fans, and that's just weird. But I also think football is a low key one because football has normalized people talking about fantasy sports in real life, and that's like the absolute geekiest thing. Like baseball was fantasy baseball for years, for decades, and no one gave a shit. And once like football popularized it, it's just become normal for dudes to sit in a bar and talk about their fantasy teams for hours on end, and that's just fucking not cool. So, although I would say soccer overall, I would say football is low-key pretty nerdy. He had another question, too. He said, heard you boys need extra material. What's your dream wrestling move that you might be able to pull off one day? I'm working toward doing Kenny Omega's rolling fireman's carry and moonsault, probably on a 50-pound nephew or niece at best. I'm praying for Tanahashi to stomp out that Funko Pop completionist, but damn it, you can't escape. Looks impressive. I have no chance of ever doing a wrestling move. Maybe a punch, but I think if I could do a dream wrestling move, I would like to do a satellite head scissors. I think that would be my number one move to pull off.
I could be dreaming this, but I swear to God, 2 Cold Scorpio did a moonsault into a leg drop, and I would trade a lot of stuff in my life to be able to do that. I feel like I could do a lot of wrestling moves right now, but that one, if I can get there, I'd be super pumped.
I guess I'll read the next one too. Clayton, he writes, spooky wrestling Halloween memory. Hey, Alan Mike, I mostly just wrote to unburden myself to y'all, but we can pretend that I'm asking about spooky wrestling Halloween memories. I went to a wrestling-themed party dressed as Jim Ross and eventually found myself at a CVS at 2 a.m. buying Plan B while still in costume. I at least had the sense to not wear the hat into the store. My broadcast colleague was dressed as John Cena, so basically to an outsider, we probably ended up looking like a put-upon city councilman and most of the population at a WWE house show. But still, goddamn, did you know you have to go up and ask the guy for Plan B? Even on Halloween. What the fuck? They should just have a big barrel of it with a scoop like a candy store. Anyway, do you all have any spooky Halloween memories? Did you watch the Spin the Wheel Make the Deal match between Cactus Jack and Vader at an age where you were legit scared of Vader? Thanks for reading and letting me get that off my chest. Love y'all. Clayton, a.k.a. Fortune Clay, a.k.a. Big Guapa Pump, a.k.a. Project Pat Patterson. Man, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the Abdul the Butcher fucking cage thing, the Cactus Jack thing, but outside of that, I think WWE has wrestling in general has really whiffed on Halloween shit since like back in those days, and it's a real bummer.
I do recall seeing like the countdown for Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal. Yeah. I think like I would get 2 pay-per-view orders a year, and that was SummerSlam and WrestleMania. So for fucking sure, my parents would let me get fucking Halloween Havoc. But I do remember seeing that, the 30-minute countdown on Viewer's Choice, I believe. But other than that, no real spooky Halloween memories for me. I was really scared of Papa Shango, but that doesn't count. Anyway, if you want to participate, email us at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Let's talk some shit. Anyway, 2-man scramble time, Mike. You ready? You buckled in?
I am ready.
All right, for sure.
Ready.
For sure. Anyway, quick shout out to friend of the show, Scott, aka the Border Boss. He's one of the masterminds behind the beloved 450 Degrees tea, and he also did the Brody tea. And on his latest episode, which I believe dropped today with Mike, he does a pretty incredible impersonation of yours truly. So if you love Taco Bell, you need all the news about Taco Bell, and you want to hear this great bit of podcasting, tune in to the Border Boss. Anything to add to that? Anything to add?
Oh,
Mike?
No, it was a good episode. It really caught me off guard with that. But yeah, we talk about that episode. We talk about commercials, spooky commercials. It's a pretty good time. You should check it out. Border Boss. Every other week we do a show called All Holes Filled, where we talk about records we were supposed to listen to 20 years ago and never got around to. It's great. Subscribe to Border Boss.
Yo, also peep Retro Food Ghoul, because I'm really worried about Mike these days in terms of his diet. This man ate fucking butter, raisins, and noodles, I believe. He's for real drinking butter. And Mike, it's going to be like episode 93 where it's going to be like me and my serious Jim Ross voice talking about you, dude. I'm kind of scared about it.
I don't have much to do out here. I don't have a lot of my hobbies got taken away once I moved.
Oh my God.
It's weird because I feel like I'm a pampered baby because I just felt like I had so much more to do in New York, and here I'm just like, I'll start making weird food and putting it on the internet. So that's what I've been up to.
I'm concerned, man. I'm concerned. My next topic. So last weekend, NXT megastars, the Street Profits, they won the Evolve Tag Team Championships. And apparently Fabian Eichner, who I probably couldn't even pick out of a fucking lineup, won their main title. Mike, are you excited? Are we on the right path of being proven right with Tino Sabatelli when he's announced as the last entrant of Bola 2019? Are you jacked, man? Because I fucking am.
I mean, he does. Yeah, he does have he has a shot at any Evolve title now, Tino Sabatelli. I mean, what the fuck? If he wasn't injured right now, he might have that title right now. Yeah, outside of that, Gabe Sapolsky, the guy who runs Evolve, was on Twitter fielding disgruntled fans of Evolve, and I don't know where these people have been hiding. I didn't know there was this many fans of Evolve to be upset about this turnout of. I mean, I get it. This guy he's some NXT guy, and he's not even a guy on TV. He's just an NXT guy, so it's kind of weird. But at the same time, who fucking cares? I've learned that now that I don't live in New York anymore, Evolve shows outside of New York are a lot different than Evolve shows in New York. So it's it seems fun in New York when you go, and everywhere else when I watch a show, it just doesn't seem as fun. So I guess I could see, now that I don't live in New York, I guess I could see all of the non-New York Evolve fans and maybe how they take it. But I don't know. It just seems like wrestling. It doesn't really bother me that much.
I mean, as someone who runs a World Champion Sound podcast, I feel like the last time Evolve was poppin' was when Chris Hero wrestled Dick Togo. And so, this might be, the most relevant they've been in quite a while, to me personally. So when I saw that, this NXT guy, quote unquote, won their title, it was pretty shocking, dude. So
it's a weird choice. There's a lot of people on TV that are on NXT that aren't on TV. They could have used Donovan Dijak or one of those guys. So it's just kind of weird that it's this guy no one even really cares about in any way. No offense to you, Fabian Eichner, if you listen to this show. I'm sure a lot of people care about you.
Well, next up, let's talk about it. WWE Evolution. Did you watch it? What'd you think?
I did watch it. I thought it was pretty good. It didn't have the shackles of having to deal with a lot of bullshit storylines because they don't really write storylines for the women. It seems usually a woman's storyline is who she's friends with and whether they're going to stay friends or not. So that makes a good pay-per-view when they don't have to deal with actual dumb shit Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton going to Bray Wyatt's house and lighting it on fire. They don't have to do that shit because they don't have storylines like that. So as much as I always thought it was a detriment that they don't have storylines like that, it makes for a good pay-per-view because it's just good matches, not a lot of bullshit. I thought every match was pretty decent. I hate Iron Man matches, and even that Iron Woman match was pretty good. And I'm not in Iron Man matches at all. I thought fucking Kairi Hojo, Shayna Baszler was pretty, like, it was probably had to be like the best women. I thought one of the best women's matches of this year in WWE.
Oh, you mean last woman standing instead of Iron Man?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, I walked out of that show like really fucking jacked about women's wrestling, dude. Like, we are probably gonna get a 6-woman tag at TakeOver, the one I'm going to, with the 3 horsewomen versus Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and I'm pretty sure Mia Yim. I saw them on Instagram fucking carving pumpkins, so that's gonna happen. I'm excited about that. And yeah, dude, I really think that Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch match, some pretty incredible stuff. And lastly, Kairi Hojo, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, fight forever, dude. I would have chanted that shit all day long if I was in New York. Incredible piece of pro wrestling. 2 thumbs up from me. My last topic. So John Cena, he recently posted the hieroglyphics logo on his Instagram, which sent your boy into a fucking tizzy. If you had to produce a YouTube show for John Cena based around his love of hip-hop, what would be your angle?
I mean, I always love shows where they have people I know go record shopping.
Yeah.
So that would be one. But I don't think John Cena goes the type of record shopping I like. So that I don't know. John Cena seems to really like to learn stuff. So maybe watching John Cena learn how to make beats, to make his hip hop beats. But I mean, maybe he does know how to make beats. He was a semi-professional rapper at one point. But maybe, I guess, honestly, just record shopping. I think I would love to see, let's set John Cena and these famed like fucking record stores around the country, bring him to that DJ Shadow record store and introducing, just bring him to the Thing in Brooklyn, bring him to all these places and just see what John Cena pulls out. Give him $100 each episode and see what he does.
Mike, that's why we host Virtual Pros together. I'm on the same fucking wave. So my dream YouTube show with John Cena, if Fat Beats was still open, just have him as a cashier all day long, dealing with those fucking assholes, talking about nonfiction, talking about like what year Raucous Records was the most poppin'. That's like for real my dream reality show with John Cena hip hop. But like you said, he does love learning stuff. He's like learning Chinese. He seems like a guy that's really eager to feed his brain. And so if it wasn't the Fat Beats angle, it'd be him reading the entire manual for the Akai NPC and then him just applying what he learned. And I think that'd be some incredible YouTube TV personally. WWE. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Stamford, I know you listen. I see the hits. And this sounds like a hit to me personally. So just think about it. That was my last topic.
Yeah, just to add to that, today they just dropped 2 new wrestler-based shows on WWE.com. So I think they've really been listening to Virtual Pros, and they've been taking our cues because Baron Corbin has a ghost hunting show, which is, it's so, I put it on, I couldn't handle it. I was just like, I can't right now. I have to really sit down and prepare myself for this because I thought, first off, Kathy Kelly has a show called Talk and Snack. And I thought she was going to review snacks like I used to as a career. And it's more, she was like making gummy worms with the boogeyman. And I was like, oh, this sucks. I don't want to watch this. So my hopes were a little low when I went to the Baron Corbin thing. And yeah, it's just a legit Baron Corbin ghost hunting show. And I was like, I can't right now. This is just like, this is beyond my wildest dreams. This is literally like that show we did 2 years ago about making up absurd shows on the WWE network. And this is one of them. And it's fucking amazing. So I don't know how quick they put that shit on YouTube, but definitely search this Baron Corbin ghost hunting show because it's for the 1 minute I watched, it's amazing. My few things. Yeah, I went to AAW. They did a show at the 115 Bourbon Street with La Parca. It was called Dias de la Luchadores. I don't really have much to say about it. It was fine. I went with a lot of listeners and friends of the show. So that was cool, but it was just like, it was a wrestling show. It was cool to see La Parca. It was cool to see Bandito and Flamita. They're really good. And Sammy Guevara and Phoenix had a very good match too. The only real highlight is there was a couple people behind us that were just doing like the most antagonistic chants and just like trying to be funny and just repeating shit because no one cares, and it's just making everybody cringe in the audience. And I don't know. I always try, not always, but I try and give people like that the benefit of the doubt. I'm just like, they probably don't have an outlet in life to like release these feelings, I guess. But if you're just bombing like that and you just keep on repeating it over and over again, how do you not have a self-awareness switch inside of your body to just be like, I should maybe shut up. So maybe they're just really drunk. I don't know, but those guys are real assholes. So guys like that, if you're just, you know who you are out there that do shit like that, just don't do it. Just find a different hobby, like pick up coloring books or something. I don't know, just do something with your time besides just screaming. Like, for example, I think at one point they were like, you guys are all Roman Reigns fans, or they said something like that to the crowd, and it's just like, okay, man, I guess this is real cringy shit. And they were so loud and obnoxious, and it's just like, oh, fuck off. But yeah, outside of that, it was fun to see La Parka. He's a little hefty these days.
Yeah.
But that's it. Next up, so they announced the card for the New Japan Lions Break project. This is next week, actually, I think. And this is the impetus of me earning the nickname Rich Mike, because I do have the money to go out to see the NJPW Lionsgate project, but I chose not to. I made fun of it, and so they gave me this bad nickname. But they released the card, and I think it's kind of interesting because it's part of some kind of fucking festival or some shit. It's only $15 to get in, but it's just I thought when they announced this, I thought they meant like there were young lions in Japan. But these are just the guys from their American school, which makes a lot more sense now that I think about it. So it's just like those guys, and Kenny Omega's on one of the days, and I don't know. It looks like a cool thing to do if you're in the area for $15, but it's definitely not what I thought it would be. Al, would you go to this even if you were in the area?
$15 isn't bad. Isn't Kenny Omega wrestling David Finlay? Isn't that one of the matchups? Yeah, why the fuck not? I have friends in LA. Wouldn't be a bad time for $15, I think. Okay. I don't know. For someone that's going to fucking Japan in January, I have fallen off the fucking wagon with Shin Nihon, dude. I haven't watched any of the tag tournament. I saw that Okada and Tanahashi shook some hands, but other than that, I'm out of the loop. So I need to do some fucking catching up. So this Lionsgate show, I don't know. But $15 is not a bad price for a ticket to watch wrestling.
That reminded me, I forgot to write it down. Yeah, the Super Junior Tag League's going on. I don't give one shit. I don't care. Yeah. But they let Lanny Poffo do the English commentary, and oh my god, guys, if you out there have not heard this, it is the absolute worst commentary anybody could have ever done for anything. And it gives everybody out there hope that no matter how shitty you are at something, maybe you'll sit near a guy on a plane that is the boss of that something and give you a job doing that. And there you go. That's how Lanny Poffo got this job. And it's just, like, you can hear Chris Charlton and the other guy just kind of, they have like those awkward pauses where they're just like, oh, this fucking guy. Like, it's fucking bad. He does genius facts. He was calling things genius facts, and all he was doing was reading things off of his primer sheet that just tell you like the bullet point facts about these wrestlers. And he's like, this is a genius fact. And he's just like reading all this shit. And I cannot do it justice, but if you guys are fans of like cringe stuff, just seek out Lanny Poffo on these Super Junior Tag League cards, because it is something else.
You're telling me this beats out the performance that Matt Striker and Yoshitatsu had?
Dude, it is beyond, it's beyond anything I've ever heard in wrestling, because it's like, it's not just bad commentary. Matt Striker and Yoshitatsu, as much as people hate Matt Striker, he tries to study up on his shit. So even though he's obnoxious and kind of annoying, he at least knows his shit. Yoshitatsu knows his shit. He just does not very well at speaking English at a commentary, because that's fucking stupid. I don't know why they'd have him there anyways. But like, Lanny Poffo has never even been to Japan. He never even he's never watched wrestling from Japan. He's just a guy that happens to be a wrestler that got this job. It's like, kind of like if you worked at a gas station and somebody was like, hey, do you want to own this oil company? Here you go. Like, it's just like this ridiculous jump. And I don't know. It's just fucking amazing that this is going on right now. This is the absolute worst thing that's happened in wrestling all year. And it'll just, I mean, it's not like, you know, bad in like the crown jewel way, but it's like something where if WWE did this, they would never hear the end of it. So it's just amazing that this isn't more of a thing on the internet about how bad this is, because it's fucking ridiculously bad. I think he's only contracted to do like one more, and then they'll probably get rid of him, but I'm going to cherish these shows for as long as I can.
You sold me. I'm tuning in after this show. I'm excited.
Yeah. Lions break. How long? So I've been thinking about this for a while. I don't know how this works. I legitimately don't know how this works. This is one of those secrets of wrestling, and anybody out there could clue me in if they know. But I always kind of assumed, well, for a while, I assumed that if you were like an independent wrestler and you were an independent wrestling promotion and you won like the title or whatever, the wrestlers didn't really carry that around. That just went home with whoever owns the promotion. That's what I would assume. But, you know, sometimes on Twitter, I see pictures of the wrestlers with their belts in obvious situations that aren't, you know, a wrestling show. So I don't know. Maybe they do carry them around. What do you think about this, Al? Do you have any theories on this before I go into mine?
For indie wrestling, I would just think that like they would hand it back to the promoter after they were done with it. Why would they carry it around?
Yeah, that has to be it. But like I said, I see pictures now and I'm just like, they're definitely like, this is not the day of a wrestling show, and they're definitely in an environment that's not a wrestling show. So why do they have that belt? I'm thinking my new theory is that if you are, if wrestling is your full-time job, maybe you are in some kind of promotion where you have to carry around that belt. But I think if it's not your full-time job and you just have another job, you're probably not on a promotion. But I don't know. To me, if it was up to me, it doesn't care if I was the highest thing on earth, even if it was not even wrestling. If there was anything in life where I had to carry around a belt every day, I would just let somebody else hold it. So in my mind, I'm just like, no one would want to do this, so why would they? But I'm pretty positive WWE wrestlers and like, you know, Major League wrestlers, they carry around their belts, New Japan wrestlers, and that just seems like such a hassle. So, I don't know. It just, like I said, I don't know the answer out there, but if anybody does, if you know of independent promotions that give out their belts, let me know, because I don't know. Would you, though, Al, if you were on any level of wrestling, would you want to carry around your belt from show to show?
Fuck no, those things are heavy. Secondly, I was going to say, you brought it up, but I think the WWE has like an even weirder system where they have like belts specifically for TV, and then like I think the wrestlers have to carry like this other like shittier version of the belt around like city to city. So I think that's how it works. I'm not sure, but that's what I've heard.
I've heard that too. And I guess it makes sense with WWE because they're going to house shows, but still there has to be, I guess there's not one supply truck. I don't know. I guess it's such a big fucking thing. Maybe it doesn't work like that. I would have assumed they'd have some fucking guy. They could hire some guy to do this shit from show to show, but I guess not. Just make the wrestlers do it. But yeah, indie wrestlers, indie promoters out there, let us know, or let me know at least, because I'd really like to solve this mystery.
Yeah, I'm also of the type that like I only really want to use a carry-on. Like I hate checking in like luggage. So like,
yeah, me too.
I think you'd have to if you had to carry the belt around. That shit's really heavy and it takes up, I think, a lot of space. I guess it lays flat. Anyway, that was luggage chat. But yeah, to answer your question, Mike, I wouldn't want to carry it.
That's one of the reasons I know, because it's like wrestlers in airports and shit. And like I think when Austin Aries had all 4 of those belts, he was carrying them around. And that's ridiculous. Just fucking do it.
Yep.
So last thing is just, I haven't even talked to Al about this yet, but I looked at the calendar and I'm going to assume that after maybe the next 1 or 2 shows in November, we're probably going to go on a winter break for a while because, the first week that we're supposed to record in December, I'm going to be gone. And then the time after that is Christmas and it's just the holidays. And then Al's going to Japan and on vacation. So I have a good feeling there's going to be a December, January break of virtual pros. I just wanted to warn everybody because I think last time it just came out of the blue. We're still working on projects. I had some forward movement on the big beefy white guys in Japan project. I heard from some people that might happen. We have a 3rd anniversary shirt. Maybe I'll put the hat back up. Maybe I'll finally work on the zine so we won't be gone, but I do feel a month or 2 break coming on.
Okay, let's do this right now. So, the next show for November would be this, 14th?
I think we can make both. Yeah, I think we can make both November shows.
Both November shows are locked in.
But then after that, I'll be gone, and yeah.
Oh yeah, December 12th is my brother's birthday. Sorry, dude, I'm not going to talk to you that day.
And then you're gone. So
then
I would say at least until the second half of January, we're probably going to be on a break. So
let's make a deal, dude. I don't want to skip out that long on the fans, so maybe we'll record on the 19th, unless you're still gone.
No, I should be back by then. We could do that.
Listen, Vertbags. December, you'll get at least one show. I promise.
There you go. We worked it out. That's it. That's pretty much all I got.
Cool. Today's topic. Virtual GMs listen to Al and Mike wheel and deal their respective continents' wrestling rosters in hopes of getting over on each other. Please stay tuned.
Tomorrow's a new day.
Can't do drippin', can't do drippin', can't do drippin'. Diamonds on my wrist ain't drippin'. Ice. Can't do drippin', can't do drippin', can't do drippin'. Diamonds on my wrist ain't drippin'. Ice.
Can't do drippin', can't do drippin', can't do drippin'. Diamonds on my wrist they drippin'.
Ice.
Can't do drippin', can't do drippin', can't do drippin'. Diamonds on my wrist they drippin'.
Ice. Give me a little something to remember. Tryna make love in the sprinter. Bitch, drop a nigga like timber. Ride nigga like a right swipe on Tinder. Shit on these hoes. Let up my wrist on these hoes. Now I look down on these bitches. Cool like I'm on stilts on these hoes. But your baby daddy rain down. My maid got cake by the pound. Go down, eat it up, don't drown. Make the cheese in a bow, high sound. I got that cushy, yeah, that's a fact, but I never been pussy. I think that bitch is pajamas with footies. One MVP, and I'm still a rookie.
And welcome back to Virtual Pros, episode 75. Today's topic, virtual GMs. So, this was sparked for two reasons. One, Mike and I are playing fantasy basketball, and I'm of the mindset that I'm always pitching ridiculous trades in order to bolster my roster. So I'm always wheeling and dealing, and of the mindset of trading what I have for something bigger and better. But secondly, I guess like this feels like a decade ago, but it really happened, I guess, like 2 weeks ago. The first ever MMA trade happened between the UFC and ONE FC, which is I believe a Singapore-based MMA promotion. And the UFC sent Demetrius Johnson, who was like their long time, I forget what division he fought in. One of the lighter ones.
Arguably, he's flyweight. Arguably the best pound for pound fighter at one point in time. Not even too long ago, like within the last year.
Oh, absolutely. And he was always really fucking exciting. Like there was this one finish where like, I think he like back suplexed someone into an armbar. It was incredible for ONE FC's Ben Askren. And the only two things I know about Ben Askren is that he has curly hair and he talks a lot of shit on Twitter. And to me, like the UFC got fucking fleeced. And, I'm also of the mindset that if wrestling had trades like this, I think wrestling would be like 50 billion times better. And so the premise of this segment is Mike and I would be serving as GMs. I would have all control of the wrestling promotions in Asia. Mike has all control of the wrestlings here in North America. And, you're going to listen to us wheel and deal, and see if we can bolster our home country's promotions. And so I'll start off with the first pitch. So both these guys are freelance. And I think this is kind of a no-brainer for you, Mike. I think we both benefit. I'll send you Atsushi Onita. You send me Joey Janela. Deal or no deal?
No way. Come on, man. He's 61 years old. What the fuck's he gonna do?
Dude, you can tour him all around America. I think Explosions might be, it might be more lenient these days. You can make so much money off Onita. Just give me Janela. I think it's a fair trade, dude. You don't want to do that?
No way, man. It's shit like that. Like, he's gonna do the spring break shit. If he comes back a third time, people aren't going to care anymore. So you can only run this on both coasts and maybe the middle of the country, and that would be it. He'd have 3 shows. Joey Janela has a whole career ahead of him.
I want Joey Janela in Asia so bad he can wrestle all of the 1996 fucking J-Cup if you wanted to. Shinjiro Otani versus Janela. I can make so much money for him, but you're being so stingy. So I guess this first pitch is a no-go. What do you got?
All mine are cream puff ones. You're going to love all of these because the first two are definitely benefiting Japan. And it's just,
that's okay.
If I'm from the mindset of WWE, I was going to be elaborate and do like all of America. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll just do WWE to make it simple. They have the most money. They have the most to play with and, just doesn't complicate things. So, the first one is from Noah. All I would want is Cody Hall and Muhammad Yon. And in exchange, I want to send him home Hideo Itami. Don't need him anymore. He's not doing shit. We put in Muhammad Yon in his place. Yon. I've never learned how to pronounce his name, but we put him in his place. He has an afro. He's automatically more over than Hideo Itami because people in America recognize afros. They think that's funny still. There you go. He would be a bigger hit than Hideo Itami. And I don't even know why the fuck Cody Hall isn't already in WWE. You would figure they would have snatched him up already. So this is all in your favor, Al. There's no way you would deny this trade.
This is like that year when Jerry West worked for the Grizzlies and he sent back his home team, Pau Gasol, in exchange for Kwame Brown. And they were like, man, the entire league is fucking rigged. There's so much collusion. Dude, I would drive Cody Hall and Muhammad Yone to the airport for this trade, dude. Are you fucking nuts? However, think about this, though. Apparently, Marufuji said that he'd return the favor. So he might be on some WWE TV soon. Either way,
oh, man.
I'm accepting this deal. Let's shake hands. Mike, you're ridiculous. But that trade is locked in. My second pitch to you, Mike. I understand the idea of untouchables. Like, if I'm the Bucks and someone inquires about Giannis, I'm not picking up that fucking phone. But as a responsible GM, I have to inquire. And I think this kind of benefits both of us, dude. So I would send you Meiko Satsumura. You send me Bianca Belair. Deal or no deal?
You know, I think I would take this deal. Mango doesn't have a lot of years left, but in indie world, I think she'd have a lot of years left. I don't think, NXT, anything like that, but I don't, Bianca Belair could be gone in a flash. Who knows? She's young. She's too young. Who knows? Maybe she'll find something else that interests her. Maybe she'll want to be a fucking actress. But Meiko Satomura is, I've probably said on the show before, but I'm pretty sure she's the best wrestler of any fucking whatever that I've ever seen, like live in person. She's really good at wrestling. So yeah, I would take that, I think.
I need Bianca Belair for Sendai Girls. I would have her run through the entire roster. I would just have her kill Cassandra Miyagi. I'm sorry, Mike. I know you love her, but I would just have her run through that roster. And then I'd have that dream matchup, that dream super rookie matchup with her versus Chihiro Hashimoto. I'm making big bucks. And if you get Meiko, I kind of think she left the biggest impression on the Mae Young tournament. So yeah. I think we're both winning here, dude. But I never thought about Bianca Belair just switching it up, saying, you know what, this shit's too easy. I want to be an actress. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
But
you can't trust him, man. You can't trust him. Everybody thought Io Shirai. Yeah, Io Shirai is going to be starting forever. It didn't happen. Can't trust him. Okay. Mine is another fucking softball, easy one. There's no way you would ever shoot this down. Maybe. I don't know. And this was even more of a softball a couple days ago when I came up with it, but they recently reappeared on Raw. But going to New Japan, I'm putting on the table the Lucha House Party of Gran Metalik, Kalisto, and Lince Dorado. Originally, I had Sin Cara written down because I thought he was still in WWE, but I guess apparently he's not. I thought he was in WWE still, but
he left. I had no idea.
Did he? I don't know. I thought he was part of the Lucha House Party, but I don't know. Maybe he's still there.
Kicked him out of the house. All right.
Yeah. All I want to return. WWE, they like the big beefy boys. There's two big beefy boys on New Japan's roster. That's Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer. You'll never miss them. You'll have these three Lucha guys. You could fucking reinvigorate your New Japan Junior heavyweight division. I think it's a win-win on both sides.
Let me think this through. You're giving me 3 for 2.
Yep.
You get to make some money with the son of the British Bulldog and Lance Archer, and I'm ultimately trying to kill you off. I think I want someone else, Mike. You gotta throw someone else in there.
I don't know. I gotta look if Sin Cara is on the roster. TJP. Anybody from 205 Live. It doesn't matter.
You really want these two so bad. All right, you throw in Mustafa Ali. You got a deal. Is that fine?
Matter. I forgot who fucking. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I forgot who fucking wrote this on Twitter. I wish I just screenshot it and kept it forever because I think about it all the time. But somebody wrote that 205 Live. Well, they wrote about NXT UK, but they're just shows that only podcasters and indie wrestlers watch. Or no, podcasters and people who GIF wrestling watch. And that's true. So it doesn't matter. I can make so much money with Lance Archer. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing in Japan. He's a big hoss.
Dude, Mustafa Ali's so good, dude. You just got fleeced. No. 3 for 3. I'm the best GM in the entire world. Anyway, last up. Here's the Whopper. Here's what everyone's waiting for. I would send you the rights to Bullet Club. You can have that logo. I don't care. It's yours. You can have Kenny Omega. You can have the Young Bucks. You can have Adam Page. But I want the following. I want Daniel Bryan. I want Samoa Joe. I want Chad Gable. And I want the rights to CFO $. Deal or no deal.
My trade had to do with Bullet Club too, but I'll wait. Just even if I accept this trade, we'll pretend I didn't.
Okay.
I think as soon as WWE gets their hands on Bullet Club, the imagery, not the actual people, but I think once they got their hands on the logo, it would be automatically corny. It would be on that level. Like it's been beyond hip for at least a couple years, but it's still on that corny joke level. People who are like don't care about being hip, and like once WWE gets their hands on that, it's going to be on that level below, just like people who shop at Walmart, and it's just going to be like those kind of people that would be in the Bullet Club, even though that's the majority of the country. So there's still money to be made there. And Adam Page, that's it? He's just the Bullet Club and Adam Page, you said?
I'm giving you Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Adam Page. I'm giving you 4, you're giving me 3, and you're giving me your music producers.
Yeah, I think it would be worth the money. Eventually, down the road, WWE would purchase New Japan or their footage or whatever, their archives. They would be making money down the road on all this shit. It wouldn't matter. It would be worth it to have the rights to the Bullet Club, even if it got corny.
Like the WWE loves rehabbing washed ass brands. Like Tap Out has been they've been trying to make that a thing for the past decade. I feel like Tap Out exercise wear, no one's fucking wearing that. But I think if you guys were offered Bullet Club, you guys would give me the world. And I think you're giving me Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe. You're letting me have Ishii versus Samoa Joe in the year of 2019. Like I said, I'm the best GM of all time.
Oh, that's good fucking wrestling. No one cares about good wrestling. It's all bullshit. It's all about the money. So my trade is a different Bullet Club scenario.
Yeah.
And this is straight up. It would be, you would give me Hangman, and I don't even need the fucking rights. I don't even need that shit. It doesn't matter to me. I'll just make a fucking logo that looks exactly like it. It doesn't fucking matter. But I would take Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, and Marty Scurll, for AJ Styles, the Club, and Finn Balor. You get the old Bullet Club back. We get the new Bullet Club. It's new on both sides. I think it works.
Mike, do you just like getting fleeced, dude? I would drive all those guys to the airport if I had Finn and AJ back. Dude, are you nuts? Dude, Finn Balor. Well, let's think this through, actually. Finn Balor's a lot older than I always think he is. I always think he's 29 forever, but he's I think he's older than
36,
me.
37.
Yeah.
He's 36, yeah.
AJ's in his 40s. Who else are you sending me? Oh, the Club. Those guys are in their 40s, too.
They're big hosses, though.
Yeah, they're big hosses. I'm sending you people that are still kind of in their prime. man, at first this was kind of like a no-brainer, but now I'm like, you might be sending me like some broken equipment here.
It'll be fresh. It'll be like they're coming back. We could even do an angle where they come in and beat the shit out of the guys over in Japan. I don't care. Do that if you want.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't have like 43-year-old AJ Styles wrestling Okada. He's gonna look super fucking bad.
It's Japan. They wrestle forever there. They're ageless.
Yeah, Tanahashi's like over 42. No, you gotta send me someone extra. You gotta send me a couple people.
Anybody from 205 Live, it doesn't matter.
No, I already got Mustafa Ali. That's all I wanted. And you gave me Hideo. Would you include the bar with this package?
Yeah, for sure. Why not? They're both fought against Cesaro's old and Sheamus. I thought he had to retire for like fucking permanent back damage or something. So yeah, you'd have those guys.
Dude, you give me Cesaro, man. New Japan is going to buy out WWE in 2 years, man. I'm fucking pumped, dude. This roster is incredible. Anyway.
Listeners, let us know who won these trades. I think for the betterment of WWE and American wrestling, these are all amazing trades.
If you ever play fantasy basketball with Mike, just know that you will absolutely wash him in every single trade possible. And Asia wrestling as a whole has improved 10,000-fold after these transactions. Next up is the mixtape with Mr. Pogo, Satoshi Kojima, Kenny Omega, and my man, Jake De Leon. Please stay tuned.
Okay, and we are back here on Virtual Pros episode 75, and this is the world famous mixtape segment. We put these matches on YouTube on our YouTube playlist, and you can watch them. Just search Virtual Pros mixtape or subscribe to us on YouTube, and just follow the Twitter, and you get the updates too. But so my first match of the week is, I'll start with Kenny Omega versus Naomichi Marufuji from 2010 DDT. I put this match on the on here because I saw somebody make a GIF of it, and it was basically ending, which I'll get to, and I was like, that looks like a very interesting match, and happened to be on YouTube. I put it on. So I wasn't really watching DDT in 2010. I knew Kenny Omega was, I knew Marufuji was, but I was not watching this shit. I thought that shit he did that got him in the DDT was kind of wacky, and I didn't like it. So I was never really into Kenny Omega, so I didn't see his blossoming period into the Kenny Omega he is today. So this match, it's a wrestling match. There's a part in this where Kenny Omega does the thing where he falls to the ground and puts his legs up, so like Marufuji's supposed to tumble over him, and Marufuji goes so high up in the air. It's fucking ridiculous. It's a great visual, and that's how I knew this match was going to be pretty good. There's a lot of intense wrestling in the beginning of this match, just a lot of intense fucking moves. Like it almost looks like maybe these guys don't really like each other, and I don't know. That might be the truth, because this match ends in a weird way too, but well, a cool way, maybe not weird, but yeah. Then it slows down after a while, and there's a good chunk of this that's kind of just whatever, it's just some wrestling, and then it picks back up again. Fucking, they do a move on the side of the ring apron where Kenny Omega has Marufuji in like a stranglehold from behind, and Marufuji runs up the turnbuckle and does like a reverse neck breaker onto Kenny Omega onto the floor. That looked pretty crazy. That was a pretty fucking crazy move. I would be very afraid to have to take that move. It looked very fucking scary. That definitely woke me up. There's also a part where Kenny Omega does a top rope kind of like pop up belly to back suplex. Like, I can't even explain it, or he tries to do it on Marufuji. It's fucking insane. It's one of the most dangerous things I've ever seen somebody try and pull off. And it looked fucking scary as hell. And there's a Kenny Omega does this twice in this match, and I don't think he does it anymore, and thank God. He does some kind of Hadouken move where he does the Hadouken pose into like a punch or a chop or something, and God, I'm so glad he dropped whatever the fuck this is, because it looks dumb. And it's kind of cool seeing him in his he's like the polished Kenny Omega. He's the wrestlers, like, he knows all the moves and he's so good. And so it was kind of cool seeing the more like rough around the edges Kenny Omega, even though he's clearly not as good as he is now. But it was cool to see that. The ending of the match was like the hardest ending I've ever seen to a wrestling match. It completely bumped this up from like 3.5 stars to 7 stars just from this fucking ending. Previously, I would rate this up there with the first time I played like WCW, NWO or Revenge or one of those games, whatever the first one was. And the first time I saw Aki Man do the Aki pin on somebody, and I was like, that's the fucking hardest thing ever, to just pin somebody like that. And it's up there with that. Like, the way Marufuji finishes this match is just the best. It's so good. This match is not, I don't know, it's hard to explain without giving up too much, but it's fucking old wrestling. Who cares if I spoil it? But basically, Kenny Omega is kind of getting the upper hand on Marufuji for this whole entire match. And then fucking Marufuji just kills him with one move. And it's fucking awesome. It was amazing. I was pumping my fist in the air. This was a fucking one of the greatest finishes I've ever seen to a wrestling match. So this bumped this up to like pretty good to, I think, must see. What did you think, Al?
All right, so this clip leads off with Kota Ibushi. Like, his hair is so fucking feathered. It's unbelievable. Like, it looks like he just got off work at the host bar or some shit, like in Shibuya. It's insane how feathered his hair is here. So the opening is like super fucking crisp between these two. It's real fast. It's real impressive. And then Kenny Omega decides to be like, all right, guys, you know me. I love video games. And he does like his fucking Hadouken strike. And I'm like, man, fuck Kenny Omega. Sick of that guy. So we're about like 8 or 9 minutes in, and Kenny Omega is just whipping the fuck out of Marufuji. Like, this feels like an eternal ass beating. But then Marufuji turns it around. He does a pile driver onto the apron. And that looks pretty fucked up. And later on, he does a Shiranui, as Mike had talked about, to the outside, which looks pretty great. And then Marufuji, because Kenny tries to do a second Hadouken attempt, he kicks Kenny square in the face. Good on him. Good on Marufuji for doing this. So I think my biggest takeaway here with this match is this happened 8 years ago. And good or bad, like, you know, people's opinions might vary. This dude, Kenny Omega, wrestles the same exact fucking way 8 years later. It's kind of wild. But yeah, like, the finish is pretty fucking ghoulish. And I think that alone, it might warrant a watch. But, like, to me, this is, like, the ultimate, like, both teams played hard matches we've ever seen on the mixtape. It was good. It wasn't, like, a shitty match or anything. But, like, a lot of the middle was just, like, they're wrestling. It's fine. But the finish is tight. He really fucks Kenny Omega up. And it's pretty sweet to watch. My first match of the night is Satoshi Kojima and the 8-Man, a.k.a. Jimmy Yang, a.k.a. Jimmy Huang Yang, versus Yoji Anjo and Grananiwa. This is from Bapestar Pro Wrestling 9/6/2002. So whoever uploaded this video, props to you. They included the DVD menu for this Bape Pro Wrestling show, like a real rookie. But I bet that was like on purpose. It looks really nice. So whoever uploaded this, thank you so much. So Mike, if you had a choice to base a wrestling show around marketing a clothing label, what would you go with?
What do you mean? What clothing label you mean?
Yeah, like if you like had a choice, like pick any like clothing label in the world to like base a wrestling show around to promote, essentially, what would you go with?
What was that? What was that brand that J.C. Penney used to sell? Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona Jeans Company.
Arizona Jeans Company. That would be my. We're bringing it back. Fucking Mike and Al present Virtual Pros present the Arizona Jeans Company Wrestling Federation. That would be fucking perfect.
Kind of the same wave. I would have Eddie Bauer Pro Wrestling, and like all of my dudes would just wear like fucking half zip parkas, and I just have like all the dads in the world pull up in Eddie Bauer like era expeditions, and like have a Tomohiro Ishii and Kurt Angle like wrestle each other in sweater vests. I'd watch that all day long. So I can't lie here. It's pretty weird to see Grand Aniwa work heel here. I feel like all animal wrestlers are good guys, and I kind of don't like this at all with Grand Aniwa being a bad boy. It sucks. So referee Kyohei Wada, he's wearing the drippiest white All Japan logo tee with the Bape camo fill-in. I know you're into streetwear, Mike, but like for me, like this entire vibe right now just has me beaming. Also, I have this t-shirt, so I thought I'd flex a little bit. So this is 2002, and I'm pretty sure Pharrell and Ego, they don't have a working relationship yet. So it's kind of see that the 8-man, like he got some pretty good entrance music, but he didn't get like any Neptunes leftovers. So that was kind of sad. But on pairing alone, you kind of know who's going to win here. So there's like no real drama to this match. Like, are they really going to have the fucking 8-man lose on the Bape Style Pro Wrestling show? I don't think so. So like early on in the match, there's like a pretty funny spot where the 8-man, he has Grand Naniwa in a swinging rocking chair thing. And he's like ramming Naniwa's head over and over again into the bottom turnbuckle, which to me would be pretty fucking humiliating. Like I bet Naniwa felt super embarrassed after that. Later on, Naniwa and Anjo, they dish back the embarrassment by mocking the 8-man, by doing some ape dances, I guess. The star of the show, obviously, is Kojima. And 2002 is when him and Muto, they dipped on New Japan and went to All Japan. So you're kind of seeing like the start of Kojima. He's being positioned as a top guy, and he's super charismatic in this match. So it kind of makes me want to revisit this entire era of Satoshi Kojima. I can't front. This match is way too long. It's kind of whatever. It's essentially just one long build for Kojima to come in, guns blazing, and fuck everyone up. But for curiosity purposes, for all my Pharrell heads out here, it might be worth a poke. What'd you think?
Yeah, this match stinks. It's so bad. It's so long. First thing I wrote down is Satoshi Kojima. That guy sure loves bread. Yeah. That's not gonna ever not be funny. That's still really funny when people point that out, that he loves bread. The other thing I noticed about this match is that those are 4 poorly dressed wrestlers wrestling in a clothing company's wrestling promotion. And these guys look like fucking bums. They all look, especially 8-man, who was their guy, and he's just wearing like a fucking cyclist uniform and a shitty mask. It's fucking terrible. It's just like, I don't know, this looks so shitty. Even Naniwa's in his like lame bad guy costume, I guess. And it looks dumb, and that's, yeah, it's just like fucking, this match sucks. It's like, it's not a good match. I was really let down. I was like, this is going to be interesting, but I don't know. They're working like really slow. Like, I mean, you know, I don't know what the standing of a bathing ape was at this point. I don't know if anybody in the audience fucking cared that it was a bathing ape or if they just went because it was wrestling. But, you know, if I was doing something for like a hip clothing company, it wouldn't be this kind of boring ass wrestling. It's almost like old guy wrestling. Except for the last couple of minutes. Last couple of minutes pick up, and the last couple of minutes, if it was that and like 3 more minutes, this would have been a really good match. But it's just, it's a lot of minutes. And, yeah, I don't know. This is not something you're supposed to be watching like 10 years later or whatever. It's crap. My next match.
Well, sorry to bum you out, Mike. There's another Bapesta wrestling DVD in the mail soon. So, someone might be getting some more Bapesta Pro Wrestling.
I was so enamored with this idea when I was that age, when it came out, that I named a song after one of the wrestlers called 884% Machine. Yeah. So if you have any matches with that guy, I'd definitely be willing to see him, because I've never seen one of his matches.
Okay.
So my last match is from Singapore Pro Wrestling. It is the Horrors, a team of The Butcher and Dr. Gore, versus Team Manila, a team of, and they're from, the Philippines. I think it's Philippines Pro Wrestling. I can't remember. But it's, Robin Sane and Jake De Leon. This was recommended to me by the Death Valley Driver guys. I was asking on Twitter for, some low grade wrestling, like I said last episode. And they sent me this link to Singapore Pro Wrestling's YouTube, and I just want to go over all of their matches. I just picked this one because I thought I would be interested in this Team Manila team, and also because it has the Team of the Horrors and a wrestler named Dr. Gore, which is now my new #1 favorite wrestling name. And I will say this guy doesn't really live up to the name Dr. Gore. This needs to be like a serious deathmatch wrestler. This is just a skinny man in a doctor mask. It's not Dr. Gore, man. So I was kind of let down by that. Also, this, the frame rate on all their videos is like if you took a frame out. So, like it took a frame out every second. So it's kind of like watching like old timey 1920s wrestling, but not really. It's not that bad, but there's a little frame rate, bad shit going on. I thought the announcers were really good. They're really, what's the word? Earnest? Yeah, they're like really earnest and just really excited about wrestling. And, I really like their commentary. There was one part even when, I think it's two announcers, but the main announcer said, he was like saying how fucking great this match was. And he said, what do you think Dave Meltzer would say about this? And that was just very odd to hear, because I don't think Singapore Pro Wrestling is ever going to be on Dave Meltzer's radar, but we'll see. It's like the production's pretty fucking good. These guys are, I don't think any of these guys are ever going to be a household name or ever make it to America or any promotion. No offense to these guys if they listen to the show. No offense to Dr. Gore if you're listening. I'm just, I think these are going to be on a local level. That was a pretty good match for, being on just kind of a local level. I will say it was a tag match, and the whole match was set up exactly how I would play a tag match in a video game. Exactly how I play every single tag match, which is just use one guy for as long as I can, and then tag out, and then the whole rest of the match is everybody is in the ring at once. And that is my strategy for every single tag match I've ever played in a video game. So I'm glad they get their fucking psychology from video games, just like me. And but yeah, it's definitely a pretty good match. It's definitely something I would recommend out of curiosity, just because it's pretty interesting. The crowd is fucking pumped, so that's always good. That always makes a match better. And so if you're into watching something new, I definitely recommend this. I'm probably there's definitely at least 2 other matches I want to watch on future episodes. So expect to hear more from Singapore Pro Wrestling. What did you think, Al?
That's why DVRs are the fucking gods, man. That's why they are the way they are. So I've been trying to find the right Philippine Wrestling Revolution match to add to this mixtape for quite a while. So when I saw that you included a match with some representatives from PWR, I was pretty curious as to why. So I know there's a clip floating around, I think it was on Reddit a couple of months ago. This dude in PWR, he lit himself on fire for a dive, which looked cool as fuck. But he got really fucked up. So there was some guilt to it, even though we've shown clips of New Jack hitting Gypsy Joe in the head with a bat. So maybe I should get over it. But that was in PWR. I didn't know
that was the same promotion. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're brazy, man. So Robin's saying he has the Sabu Hayabusa sash and genie pants, and he better not fuck this legacy up. That's what I thought. Jake De Leon, he's come over my house one time for lunch. I think I babysitted this kid once, so it's good to see him, make it out on YouTube, man. I'm really proud of Jake here. JDL, as I'll call him, he's definitely a love letter to Kevin Owens, which is pretty cool. In the middle of this match, he does this springboard clothesline, which makes the crowd lose their mind, which is a pretty great moment. This match got a fight forever chant, and I wouldn't take it that far. I take my fight forevers pretty seriously, but this was super fun. I thought the pace of the match was great. The crowd was really, really loud, and the offense in this match, it's shaky looking. It's it definitely looks like they just watched a lot of YouTube wrestling and just they're let's just try this out. But it looked pretty professional at times as well. So this is a strong recommendation from me. And if JDL, doesn't make the top 200 into PWI next year, I'm going to write somebody a really angry email because he deserves it. He's actually really good, man. He's really charismatic and I think he's at least top 200 PWI. I don't know. I'm pumping the tires on this movement. JDL, top 200 next year. Book it. Anyway, last match of the night that I picked, Mr. Pogo versus Jason the Terrible, Wing 7-5, 1992. So this clip, it leads off with Jason the Terrible. He comes out to dub music, obviously. It's like music you'd like most likely hear if like you start a new job and they're like showing you like a workplace video from like 1991. And then it leads to this clip of like an interview backstage with Mr. Pogo and Victor Quinones. And Victor, you know, he does his thing. He's fucking yelling. And he's telling Jason that they're going to bury him 14 feet in the ground instead of 7 feet, which I think is like some weird subliminal diss to The Undertaker, maybe. Who knows? Why is it 14 instead of 7? Did Undertaker say 7 feet? That's why I thought it was some kind of weird diss. But anyway, who knows? Victor then passes the mic to Mr. Pogo. And like in the calmest of tones, Mr. Pogo tells Victor, "Don't scream," which is like hard as fuck. I got real psyched up when I heard Mr. Pogo speak some English here. So this is a casket match. So like, I already like this. I love casket matches. It starts off with a brawl into the crowd at Korakuen. And at one point, this fan shoves Jason the Terrible as hard as he can while he's turned around. What a fucking coward. It is cool to see like this massive humanity at Korakuen like lose their shit during this segment though. They're just brawling up and down. You've seen it 1,000 times, but it's still pretty cool to me. So later on, they go back in the ring and Jason, he does the Undertaker rope walk. And more, I'm convinced I would nail this first fucking time. Later on, Mr. Pogo, he takes off Jason Terrible's mask. He takes it off, and in true Aki game fashion, Jason gets his special, and he starts to fucking cook Mr. Pogo, which is sweet as fuck. Pogo, then he breaks like this plastic umbrella over Jason's head. And I'm convinced this is hard way juice, dude, because those umbrellas are pretty strong, and he broke it over his head pretty fucking easily. Anyway, like, this is like the most spry, this is the most active I've ever seen Mr. Pogo. My man's out here throwing chairs. He's doing fucking body slams. He's doing lariats. He did a fucking Randy Orton DDT. Shit is crazy. This match is under 11 minutes. And like, I think you can best describe this match as like a brawl sprint. Like, they fit a lot into this time. And like the energy like that these two have and the crowd at Korakuen is like incredible. This is like a must watch. And this is the reason why wing tees are $150 these days. You gotta peep this. What'd you think, Mike?
Yeah, I wasn't like that fucking over the moon with this.
I loved it. So good.
I will say what I wrote down is after seeing Jason do the rope walk, I was like, maybe Al can do the rope walk because I did not expect that into Jason's repertoire. So yeah, maybe it can be done. All the music in this is great. It, like Al said, it's just like work orientation music. But then at the end, there's an ending scene and they're playing like this creepy organ music. And that's even good too. Whatever stock music Wing had, or whoever this VHS company had, the rights to is pretty great. I love a record of, the Wing soundtrack. Mr. Pogo does not, I'm used to seeing Mr. Pogo in VHS quality. This is a pretty clear, rip of whatever the fuck this is. He does not work that well in full clarity, basically. He just looks like an old man with a bad haircut. And he's kind of fat. I would say even more than kinda. He's pretty fat. He does not look scary. So, that was kind of heartbreaking to just be like, oh, he's just not intimidating at all. Where'd my notes go? There's a lot of headbutts in this match, especially the first 5 minutes. This is Jason headbutting Mr. Pogo. Not real headbutts. Real fake ass pro wrestling headbutts. And, it just made me realize like how bad these matches really were. And not, bad, technically bad, not bad in a bad way, but just like technically bad, how bad they were. And it makes me feel like how when older people in my life, like grandpas and dad age people, when I was a kid, used to watch westerns and shit. And I'd just be like, this is so fucking boring. Or like James Cagney films or whatever the fuck. And I feel like that's what this wrestling is. Like, if you were a kid now and you're watching this, I'm gonna level with you. If you're like, under 30, you probably don't need to watch this wrestling. It's not that good. Like, technically. It's fun, though. It's, like, fun visually. I love it a lot. It's just, like, watching it on a technical level is just is real fucking bad. So, yeah, as Al alluded to, there's a part where Jason bleeds, but before that, he gets his mask knocked off his face, and I can't decide whether or not that was on purpose, because, for one, I'm like, it had to be on purpose, because he had the wherewithal to paint his face, but he paints it a stupid color and he looks like an idiot. So I don't know. Like, I just don't know if you were planning on this big unmasking scene, why you wouldn't paint with your face like a cool color. But, you know, I didn't think about it. I think it's the same color as Mr. Pogo's makeup, so maybe that was the only makeup they had access to. I guess that's a possibility. But yeah, then right after he gets hit with he gets for real hit. And he starts, I thought he was bleeding for real too, but then I was like, I don't know, it seems pretty convenient. It's right after his mask falls off. But either way, it's one of wrestling's biggest secrets, I guess, is who knows. But he was bleeding for real, at least flow-wise. He's bleeding a lot, so that was cool. Yeah, so obviously Jason loses. I don't think Mr. Pogo's capable of being pinned. And it's whatever, but at the end, they have this cool coffin scene. They have like the Japanese coffin with the open window, and they just have all these guys, all these wing guys, you know, like fucking the young boys and stuff, like carrying them out of the arena in this coffin and putting them in a legit like ambulance or whatever in Japan, and all these kids like looking into the fucking ambulance window and shit, and it's pretty fucking ridiculous. And it makes this match from completely something I would say to skip to definitely watching, because that last scene is fucking amazing.
A gem here, a friend of the show, Stash Pages, he told me that founder, or one of the owners later on down the road, Mickey Ibaragi, tonight he went to go watch Paul McCartney. So it's kind of funny to think that one of the hardest Japanese promotions, it might be named after one of the Beatles. So I thought that was really funny that Wing, you know, might be influenced by Paul McCartney. Kind of something to think about. Anyway, that was episode 75 of That World Champion Sound Virtual Pros. iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, anywhere, everywhere. Peep us. Email us at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Mike, any last words?
Hey, thanks for listening.